Chapter 1, The Call That Changed Everything. I met Lucas before I met my fiancé, Miles. We all went to the same college. Lucas was the quiet one, the type who listened more than he spoke, always thoughtful, always kind. I still remember that night. I was on stage performing a spoken word piece and he was just a face in the audience, smiling like he already knew me. Our friends were connected and soon so were we. But then Lucas introduced me to his older brother, Miles. Tall, charismatic, confident. And just like that, everything shifted. Miles swept me off my feet so effortlessly, I never paused to think of what I might have left behind. And maybe, I never really thought there was anything to leave behind. Now years later we're engaged. The summer wedding next year. Lucas is the best man. It all felt right. Stable. Simple. Until last night. Lucas called me at 1 in the morning. He never calls. He's more of a quiet texter, a meme sender, someone who lets others speak first. I didn't answer, I was in the bathroom. But then I saw it, a voicemail. He was clearly drunk. Slurring. Rambling. Teasing me about karaoke, calling me a terrible singer with a warm laugh. And then, his voice cracked. "I love you, Jess," he said. "I probably shouldn't, but I do. I'm sorry. Please don't tell Miles." I listened to it 3 times before it sank in. I didn't know what to do. I cried, not because I felt anything romantic for him, but because I felt the weight of something broken and unspoken, something that had been waiting in silence all these years. And I realized, maybe the story I've been telling myself about how it all began, about who I chose, wasn't as simple as I thought. And if it wasn't simple, what did that mean for everything we'd built since? Chapter 2. He already knew. Miles came home a few hours later, humming like he always does when work doesn't follow him through the door. I sat there, still holding my phone like it weighed more than it should, trying to find the right words. Any words. In the end, I just played the message for him. He listened. No interruption. No flinch. Just silence. When it ended, I waited for anger. Something. But instead, he blinked and said quietly, "Is he okay?" It wasn't what I expected. At all. He told me he'd always had a feeling. That maybe Lucas had feelings for me. But love? That was new. Or maybe he just never let himself believe it. Miles wasn't angry. He wasn't even jealous. He just looked concerned. Tired maybe. Like he'd seen a version of this coming and had made peace with it long ago. And then he said something that cracked the ground under me. "I think you should talk to him. Just you." I asked why. Why not him? He was the brother after all. But Miles shook his head. "He told you, Jess. He didn't want me to know. Let him keep that if it helps him heal. I trust you. And I trust him. Whatever happens next, we'll handle it together." I didn't expect to love him more in that moment. But I did. Still, I couldn't shake this low hum of unease. I was about to sit across from the man I once considered just a shy friend, Miles's little brother, and ask him if he remembered confessing his love to me. What if he didn't? What if he did? And worse, what if part of me had always known and chose to look away? Chapter 3. The Kitchen Conversation. Lucas came over the next day. Miles was home but stayed in his study just like we agreed. I didn't want to meet at a cafe or anywhere public. This needed to feel safe. Familiar. So I made lunch. Something simple, something we'd all eaten together 100 times before. He looked tired when he walked in. Not hungover tired. Heart tired. But to his credit, he didn't pretend. He didn't act like nothing happened. He sat down, thanked me for the food, and after a few quiet bites, he spoke first. "I remember everything," he said, not meeting my eyes. "I was drunk, yeah. But that wasn't the alcohol talking. There it was. The weight of it. Out in the open between us. He told me he'd wanted to ask me out back in college. That he waited too long. That when he saw me light up the first time Miles walked into a room, he knew. And he stepped back. He chose to step back. Because he thought it was the right thing to do. I asked him if leaving the message was some kind of last hope. He shook his head. No. It wasn't about changing anything. I needed to let it go. And for some reason, saying it out loud to you made it feel real enough to finally move past it. His voice cracked when he said that, but he never asked for anything more. No chance. No confusion. Just honesty. I told him the truth too, that I never saw him that way and that I still don't. That our friendship meant too much to ever confuse it with something else. And that I was marrying his brother and that would never change. He nodded. "I know. I wanted you to know I meant every kind word I've ever said to you. And none of them were meant to take you from him." It was the kind of conversation that doesn't leave wounds, only small, invisible scars where truths were finally laid bare. But as I walked him to the door, I could still feel the tension in his silence. He said he'd be at the wedding, smiling like he's okay. And maybe he will be. But there was something behind his eyes, something unreadable, that made me wonder if he was really ready to let go, or if this was just the beginning of him trying. Chapter 4. The Weight of Knowing. After Lucas left, I stood by the window for a long time, watching him walk down the street like it was any other day. Like he hadn't just handed me a piece of his heart and walked away without asking for anything in return. Miles came out of the study eventually, eyes searching mine for something he hadn't dared ask for yet. "How did it go?" he asked. I told him everything. And just like the first time, he didn't react with anger or jealousy, only a quiet nod, like hearing it aloud confirmed what he already knew in his bones. "He's still coming to the wedding," I said. "Good," Miles replied. "Let him. If he's going to move on, he needs to see this through." It sounded harsh, maybe even cruel, but it wasn't. Miles didn't say it with malice. He said it like someone who's loved his brother too long to coddle him now. He believed Lucas was strong enough to stand beside us even if it hurt. And part of me did too. But part of me didn't. Because late at night I still hear Lucas's voice from that message. The softness in it. The ache. And I wonder if I've been wrong all this time. Not about who I love, I've never doubted Miles, but about how blind I might have been to a truth hiding in plain sight. Not because I encouraged it. I didn't. But because I was safe with Lucas. Open. Familiar. And maybe I gave him more than I meant to, small kindnesses he misread, shared laughter he held onto longer than he should have. And now I have to ask myself, was I really just a friend to him all this time? Chapter 5. Ties that hold, ties that burn. The days moved on, slower than usual. Every message from Lucas felt a little more careful, a little more distant. Not cold, but like someone trying to fold themselves neatly back into the role they used to play. We didn't talk about that afternoon again. Not directly. Miles and I got back to planning the wedding. Venue visits, floral arrangements, song choices. We laughed. We kissed. We reminded ourselves what all of this was for. And yet, under it all, a quiet awareness lingered. Not just between me and Lucas, but between all three of us. The night we finalized the guest list, Miles brought out an old photo from college. It was the three of us. Me in the middle, Lucas to my right, Miles to my left. All of us smiling. Young. Unburdened. "He was in love with you even then," Miles said softly, staring at the photo. "I think I always knew." I looked at him. "Why didn't you say anything?" He smiled just a little. "Because I also knew you chose me. And I had. I still do." But that night as I lay beside him, I realized something I hadn't wanted to admit. There's no perfect way to navigate love when it bruises more than one heart. No matter how honest you are, someone gets cut on the truth. Lucas will stand beside us on our wedding day. He'll smile. He'll toast. He'll dance. And maybe for the rest of his life, he'll carry the ache of what almost was. But so will I. Because now, I know love doesn't always come wrapped in clean lines and easy choices. Sometimes, it hides in the quietest places, in missed chances and whispered voicemails at 1 a.m., and it doesn't disappear just because you decide it should. It just learns to live in the silence.